welcome back, Exes and Tea podcast fans. Hey guys, I am really excited because yet again, we have another video recording. Hello, hi. I get really excited when I have an opportunity to do these. Really, I just wanted to come here and say thank you so much to everybody for the support, for listening, for wanting to come on and share stories and continue the conversation because I'm telling you guys, we're making a difference, okay? We no longer have this influencer Briley who's online trying to live a double life. And we also don't have the Rustrums who have had their Amway promo video. It's gone. It's no longer there, right? So I feel like these are huge wins because we're able to show them that we have a voice and that we're not going to back down. But as always, of course, we try to do things as ethically and nicely as possible here. Like, yes, I don't mind calling people out, but I'm not going to be malicious. I'm not going to be salacious. And that brings me to my point of I'm not here to defame anybody. My guest is not here to defame anybody. We're here to speak on personal opinions based on personal experiences. Now, please understand that when we are angry about these topics, it's because we've been through a lot when it comes to the Amway Corporation, Worldwide Dream Builders, or the various different lines of affiliation, the people that we were affiliated with in these associations. Okay. Like we've been through a lot and we're sharing our stories, but we are in no way, shape, or form here to defame anybody. Okay. You guys, I'm really excited because we have a guest with us who's back again. And this person, if you have not heard her episode, please go listen to, I believe we have a part 1 with her and a part 2. If you guys don't remember, we had Antonia. She was 17 the year before her senior year of high school. She was recruited into the Amway Corporation business through Worldwide Dream Builders. And she spent quite a bit of like her youth, her like very prominent youth between the ages of 17 and I believe 22. Their very early 20s, she spent in this business trying to be the very best person that she could. And she's actually here to speak with us on how detrimental that actually was to her as a person. So you guys, I would like to introduce you guys back to Antonia. Thank you so much for being here.
Hi, thank you for having me again. I'm so excited to talk about what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, I mean, this is a conversation that I feel like you and I have quite frequently, but I don't feel as though we talk about it enough. It's, we were in this business, we talk about the cult, we talk about it sucked to be in this cult, but the aftermath of being in this type of an organization is extremely hard on a person. And you lose so much of yourself when you're in this type of environment that who are we afterwards?
Yeah. I know when I talk about it, I really want to think back on what happened when I first left. I know that I had a panic attack when I first decided to leave because they heavily just do the whole this is your purpose and this is what you're meant to do for the rest of your life and this is what you're meant to do, and they really ingrain that in us. And so for us to decide to leave, it's like it's a whole like identity crisis. You're just like I don't know, and like I know when I first left too, for a while, like a year and a half before I got pregnant, that entire year and a half I felt lost and I felt burnt out for sure, because it was a 5-year grind of in and out of building the business in the morning, lunch and dinner. And I felt lost. And I felt the feelings that I felt that I want to talk about is the lack of ambition that I had, and it came with just feeling like a freaking loser because they always, are like this ambitious business and they want you to be ambitious too. But when I left and I didn't have no direction, I felt I had no ambition. So it made me feel like a loser, like I had no purpose, like I didn't feel like I meant anything in the world, because they always heavily ingrained that you're making an impact versus an income. And that part, like that was so hard, and so it's very depressing thoughts and depressing feelings. And when then I got pregnant, and even the consequences of leaving that even had me have negative thoughts about having a baby because I was so burnt out by building that I had to now refine my energy to take care of my son because I didn't know where it was going
Yeah.
to come from. I was so tired already.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm exhausted by life right now. And I don't know where it's going to come from. And I have a faith, but I just prayed like, God, give me strength because I don't know where that it's going to come from at all. I really don't. And
Yeah.
that I think that was like the biggest, heaviest feeling was having no ambition and feeling lost and not
Yeah.
feeling like an actual human. Like just to be human was not enough, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. It's, yeah. There's so much when you leave: guilt, sadness, regret. There's just the whole grieving process, because then at some point you start to get angry that you were there, or angry that they did so much. And I relate so much to this lack of ambition, because like you said, you were on the grind for 5 years straight. You guys, if you haven't been a part of this type of an organization, you guys have to understand, literally morning, noon, and night, the moment that you wake up every day, you are supposed to be in business mode. Any time off was considered a weakness. It was considered a waste of time. You don't love your family. You don't care about your future. You're being selfish if you're not out sharing this opportunity with people. And if you're not doing those things, you are expected to be listening to the recordings that they give you, reading the books. Just, you are constantly in business mode. And I mean, we're talking about a lot of times, and I remember, Antonia, you've talked about doing this as well, where if you haven't talked to somebody and it's 2 a.m, you're going to the nearest 24-hour store just to be able to get that contact, or even just share what's available to somebody, so you can send that Kate to your upline and at least feel like, okay, I'm not a total failure today. But at some point, you start to look at the people around you and you're like, why is everybody else making progress, but I'm not? In all reality, you guys, no one's making progress. I mean, very, very few people are making any sort of financial progress. Sure, you might see people around you. If you guys aren't familiar, and worldwide, they have these measly little recognitions like Eagle, which is having 6 people in your partnership, and Double Eagle, which is 12. Okay. I believe, Antonia, you got 6, right? You were an Eagle for
Yeah,
some time, right?
I'm an eagle. Yeah. And it was very hard. I
It
did it.
is, right?
It took 5 years, and they call it a 2 to 5 year plan, and it took 5 years. And I remember using it as the only reason I got in was to get out of my domestic violent house. Right, I thought that was the key to get out of my situation and finally get an apartment. And when I realized when I
Yeah.
went Eagle, because they said when you go Eagle, you'll get your own place, that they said that it wasn't going to happen because it wasn't within my budget. And that's when I knew. I was
Yeah.
like, well, that was the whole point for me to go Eagle, was for me to get out of renting out the rooms I've been renting out. And mind you, I moved 13 times in the last 2 years of that business, renting out
Wow.
rooms, trying to keep it together. Yeah. And that's why it was a total red flag to me to be like, I gotta go. And that's why I was burnt out too, because I was moving so much, moving my
Yeah.
stuff to keep this business together, and on top of that, creating an eagle ship. And
Yeah.
something that triggered right now, that helped me, that I remember right now, that I remember I got to the point where when I got eagle, I was like, I just want to make authentic conversations, and because it's not adamant that you actually can make someone aware every day based on their like talk to this many people, make this many people aware, da da da. I remember getting to
Yeah.
the point where if it comes up, it comes up. If it doesn't, it doesn't. That's where I was at. And then because that's how I got ego, was because I was very authentic in my conversations. And I remember my upline was like, no, you still got to be consistent every day and do it just out of the habit. And I'm like, but sparing someone is so vile and it's so invasive. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's disgusting. Like just trying to like tell someone, oh, I remember doing that at Walmart randomly, and this girl was like, okay, like
Yeah.
it's embarrassing as hell, and it's everyone already has stranger danger. Okay, like I
Yes.
wanted to get to that point, but they didn't allow it. And
Wow.
yeah,
That's crazy. But again, that's what they tell you. They have these little recognitions and they really love bomb you when you get to this point. When you get to Eagle, oh my God, you are treated like almost like new royalty. Like you're not like platinum royalty. That's the first Amway recognition, if you guys are not familiar. But you feel something, and they do that because they're like, oh, if you can do this, you can stay, right? They're like, if you go Eagle, you're never gonna leave. If you go double Eagle, like you have the opportunity to do more things. You guys, Eagles and double Eagles are nobodies. I mean, they are quite literally nothing special because you're still going backwards every month.
Yeah.
So Antonia, when you were an Eagle and you were grinding, you finally got to this point. How much were you actually making monthly from your Eagle ship?
I believe when I remember, it's like about 600 a month.
That's crazy.
Versus what you're
$600.
spending, versus what you're spending. Yeah, it doesn't even equate to, it doesn't equal the same amount, the wholesale retail price, and then on top of that, because then they would coach to use that money to pay for your Worldwide Dream Builder app, communicate, and something else. But yeah, like that, I don't remember. It's been too long. I don't want to remember. But but those apps, I use that money that came in to pay for that. So you get what I mean? Like it's not even income for me.
It's not profit. It's not profit because you still have to account for all the money you spent up until you got to that point because you're still backwards. Yeah. You're still in the red. There is no like profit from that.
When I hear all the podcast people who actually calculated it, mind you, those people are so brave to calculate it because I was like, I don't want to face that. But them hearing the amount of money, I was like, yep, I'm just gonna accept that because they were there for 5 years and they lost 70 grand. That's exactly how much I lost. I'm not gonna calculate it. I heard it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it.
But it's traumatizing to look at how much work you put in and how little you got in return. And that is what I feel like contributes to this mindset that's like, I don't want to work that hard again. I don't want to literally grind myself into the ground again for literally nothing. It's a fear.
It is. I don't want to, like, for example, going to school. I remember you talked about you going to school and how you did it. It was so triggering for you. And for me, I haven't gone to school. I don't want to go to school because because my friend's in school right now, and the amount of time and investment she's doing, it sounds like how I was building the business. And I'm like, I don't want to.
Yes.
I'm good right now. Like, I don't want to do that. Like, my mindset right now is going at my own pace. I that's another thing too. Like, if you are like, don't let anyone tell you what your timeline is. You are your own timeline. And because I don't want to go to, I took one little Udemy class that's $15 online for accounting because I'm in an accounting industry right now. And I purchased it in October. Okay. And I just finished it in January. I took my time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I took my time because I had started it, and then I was trying to find when I can actually do the class at work because I don't want to do it after work because I have my son.
Yeah.
I just want to focus on my son. And I'm like, that's how long it took. And I'm okay with that. You know, like
You finished. You did it.
But it triggers the feelings of overworking myself feelings too.
Yes.
Like, I don't want to overwork myself the way that I did. Because I think I kind of did become a workaholic, you know, and I don't want to do that because I have a son and that's what matters. And and I want to focus on him. I don't, even with my content creation that I started, like, I'm only doing it before work and after work. That's it. And then I put it down because I want to focus on my son, you know, and and that's what another subject I want to talk about is that, our part-time lives that they freaking, degrade so much life happens in that part-time time.
Absolutely.
You can meet your spouse. You can go on a trip that's most memorable, and you can, your son can graduate, or have his first girlfriend, first homecoming, your kids, your first audition, first talent show. Like, so much life happens after. And it
Yes.
made me change my mindset with the 9 to 5. It puts me on a routine. First of all, I have good income, stable
Yeah.
income. And so it's like I had to change my mindset on the 9 to 5 because I still work 8 to 4:30. I had to change my mindset around it. It's actually a beneficial schedule. That's I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. It is. You're right. I mean, you think about how much time they would say that you're saving by being in the business, right? Like you're going to become free. You're never free in an MLM ever. There's no
Yeah.
such thing. You are constantly having to reach out to somebody. You're constantly having to work to rebuild and rebuild because people leave all the time. Whereas with a 9 to 5, you can leave your work at your work most of the time, anyways. I totally understand people who can work from home, people whose jobs are maybe a little bit more demanding, but mostly we can leave our work at work and we can be home and we can focus on those things. We have weekends. We can actually use those weekends. We don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, now I'm off work now. It's a Friday. Friday night is usually some sort of board plan, or it's a weekend. I'm not allowed to relax. But now you can take vacations. You can take a 2 day, 3 day trip to maybe 2 hours away, wherever. You can do a staycation at your own home or whatever, but that's your time. That's so much more time that we have as freedom than the people who are building that business, who have no sense of freedom whatsoever. In fact, I never saw anybody who was platinum or above taking vacations that were not Amway funded. So there's no freedom there. And you're
Yeah.
right, part-time, like our quote, part-time lives are our entire lives. Because at some point you have, and I think that this is something you and I have talked about as well. It's the coming to the acceptance that we have to work a 9 to 5, or we have to work. And I think that we have a very skewed view of what work actually is, because we spent so much time being brainwashed: work bad, job just draining, job terrible. But it's like, no, everybody needs these services, and we need money, so we have to provide these services. And sure, you might do a job that you don't love for a while you're pursuing maybe something that you actually do want to do, or maybe you do love what you do. It's okay to love accounting. It is okay to love being a factory worker. It is okay to love whatever it is that you do. And even if it takes time. I mean, like my dad, for example, I use my dad as an example all the time. My dad's only on his second job in 30 years. My dad stayed with one company for 20 something years and then finally moved somewhere else. And it's in the same industry. And he was like, I did not love it at first. He's like, it is hard. It is grueling. I literally like hurt. Like, he's like, it was a nightmare. But he's like, I'm really glad that I stuck it out because I love what I do now. Because now, through movement and just consistency, he's able to move up to management position. He has an office. He looks out in like this little it's hard to explain if you're from Oregon. Like there's some little trees and stuff.
Yeah.
But there's movement, there's things that you can do to accomplish what you actually want to do. But again, it's overcoming that acceptance that, like, oh my God, I am going to really have to work a 9 to 5 for the rest of my life. That's a hard thing, I think, to overcome.
Yeah, and another thing too is that you are ambitious if you work a 9 to 5. Like
Yeah, absolutely.
I know lazy people that don't want to work at all. Like it takes.
Yeah,
I know some stories that I'm like, people are complaining about getting up and going to work. It is ambitious as heck, showing up to work and getting off to work, and you're showing up 5 days a week. Don't ever
yeah,
feel like you're not ambitious for working an 8 to 4:30 job. That is ambition in itself because you're getting up and staying consistent and keeping up that schedule. That's consistency. That is ambition. That's something
yeah,
I really had to tell myself. Like that I had to repeatedly tell myself to wash out what they were talking about with 9 to 5. And I live in
yeah,
Las Vegas. People work graveyard shifts or mid shifts. Like if you work a 10 to 6 job, I I I like that. You can sleep in. Like you can, you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
you can have energy to work because I hate waking up at 7 a.m. or 6. And even anything above 8, I don't want. That's too early for me. But yeah,
yeah,
that's something I had to tell myself too. Is like and also that I barely just got over the fact. to not be lazy at my job, because I was lazy in my jobs that I was working in Amway, because I thought
Yeah.
this was it. I thought that was it. But I finally got to a point where I'm working now hard at my job and not feeling like I have a backup plan that's going to save me, like being cocky about it. You know what I mean? Like, I actually,
Yeah. Yeah.
I like working where I work and learning what I'm learning. So it's like, yeah, like that's really what I wanted to touch on too, is that you're ambitious if you work. You and we have
Absolutely.
to here's the thing. If you think about it, like especially the hustle culture, the entrepreneur culture, we are human beings, and when before buildings and technology, you still have to work to survive, to go
Yeah.
hunting, for your family, to take care of the kids while your man hunts, like, or hunting in general. Like, we
Yeah.
have to still work to survive. That's just, but this is a new way of surviving. It's working and working for other people, and it's fine. And I
Yeah.
saw this one guy on TikTok that said, like, it's okay if you don't want to be an entrepreneur, because who wants to work 24 hours? you
It's
know,
true. Yeah.
We're okay with 9 to 5s, and that's okay. And I thought I was gonna be okay with 9 to 5 forever, but I feel like there's money in the air. You just gotta grab it. Like, there's so many opportunities to make more income than other 9 to 5, whether that's content creation, podcasting, whether that's trading with your money for crypto stocks, real estate. Like, there's so many other avenues to make money. So if
Yeah.
you have that, there's a reason why we were attracted to Amway, right? It's because we wanted more money.
Yes.
So it's like, if you
Yeah.
have that in you, then you have it in you to make it. Just don't use Amway. Just go
Yeah.
find what you think is going to make you more income, and pursue that and do that. But the thing is, those things are not going to take advantage of you. Those things are going to pay you back. You know. So
Except for crypto. Don't do
that's
crypto.
something too, because yeah.
Yeah.
So
Don't do
I'm just
crypto.
saying, because if huh?
I said don't do crypto. Crypto's a scam.
Oh, okay, no,
In
I'm
my
just
opinion.
saying, like, trading
No,
stocks,
you're
whatever.
good. I
That's
thought
not.
it was really funny that you said it. But yeah, it's true. It's like there's so many different avenues, and I think you're right. I mean, if I could go back in time and go buy the very first crypto coin, you're goddamn right I would. But nowadays there's so much out there. In fact, we saw a pyramid scheme, very slimy, teaches you how to do crypto type
Yeah.
of thing. So anytime I bring up crypto, I'm like, listen, dude, I just like to add the disclaimer out there. Don't think it's the end all be all. But absolutely, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, content creation is a job. I mean,
It is.
podcasting is so challenging for me. I literally sometimes spend 2 hours editing one episode, and that shit's hard. But
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's not something I can do so frequently. I've been editing one episode for like 3 weeks now, just because with my situation at home, it's a little bit different, but it is still work. Content creators, YouTubers. I have to tell my son this all the time. He's like, I think it'd be so cool to be a YouTuber. And I'm like, yeah, buddy, but you have to understand those people are working tirelessly, especially when they're just getting started. They don't have somebody editing their videos for them. They are doing that themselves. So not only are they editing their own videos, they're probably learning how to edit their own videos, which is studying, then it's doing it, then it's re-going through it, and then it's the same process over and over and over again. It is not easy to do content creation.
No,
So,
I realized that very quickly. I was
but
like,
it's always
oh,
work.
yeah, yes, it takes a lot. But content creation, because now that I've started and stuff, I have to fix my phone to create YouTube videos, because my mic isn't working on my phone, because my son threw the phone in the toilet. But it is work.
Ah,
I know. Oh, child, no, it's all good. I'll put it in rice. It's okay. But what happened was, I recorded a video on Thursday, and it took me about a day, with my schedule being a single mom. It took me a couple days to edit. It took me, because I have to edit at night when he's asleep. So,
yeah.
like, finding the time to do that, yeah, it is work. It's a lot of content creation is work. People need to not say it's fake. It's not. And having to think
No,
about
it is
ideas.
hard. My
Yeah,
God.
yeah.
Yes. It's not for the faint of heart, that is for sure. But I think that it is very, very disheartening when you come from a place like that and you're trying to recover and rebuild. And then you see people around you too. We've definitely had this conversation where you see people who come out and they have their shit together. And it's like, oh my God, like what's wrong with me? This person came out and they own their own business. Maybe they're doing really, really well at their job. And I'm like, oh God, I'm still 5 years out of the business and don't know what the hell I'm going to do. Like, it is insane the way that the mentality that they put you in. It is hard
Well,
to get out
especially
of, I will admit.
yeah, especially being in the business so young and not having a college degree. That's something I beat myself up a lot. Like I'm like, man, I could have used that energy
Yes.
to get a degree, and me and my son would be like, I would be having a higher paying job if it wasn't for that. But that's like I didn't know what I wanted to do for a long time. Even when I had my son, like I was like, I'm glad I didn't have a baby while in Amway. That newborn stage is no joke. It's not. I think if you're in the newborn stage, I will. And if you're in the business, I don't give a f flying f. Take care of your child and don't care about anything else, and take care of yourself because postpartum is it's real as hell. And in that moment, you don't need to
Yeah.
care about impressing other people or trying to be there for other. No. Be there for yourself and be there for that kid. Because seriously, I couldn't imagine doing that in the business. That's crazy. Um, but
Exactly.
yeah, no. But I didn't understand what I wanted to do because after I left, I think before I got pregnant, I wanted to be an esthetician because I'm into skincare. But I just feel like that's another thing I wanted to say. Like if you fresh out and you're lost, there's a quote that helped me, and it says if you don't know what to pursue right now, pursue yourself. Um,
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
yeah, pursue yourself. What do you like? What are your hobbies? What are your niches, little niches? And that's what made me gravitate. I don't know if this content creation is going to be my thing. I don't know. I'm seeing where it goes, but
Yeah.
because I like skincare, I like doing my makeup. I like dancing, and I was like, oh, I like to speak about certain important topics of like life because me and you we went through like trauma with our moms. Um, and I was like, I have something to say about that, yeah. And
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. Exactly.
so it was like, you know what, like, and genuinely, my sister always told me like, you do good in front of the camera, like you're not afraid to talk to it. So yeah, and that's when I was like, okay, I'm just gonna let's let's start TikTok, let's start Instagram, let's start YouTube, let's because I'm like if because I'm a very like variety person. I like skincare, I like makeup, I like dancing, I like I like speaking. Like the topics that we talked about. I think that's why you reached out to me too because you're like we need to talk about this. I'm like let's do this.
Yeah. Oh my
You
gosh.
know?
That's next.
Yeah. So I was like, so like you as a person have gifts and talents and your own hobbies and your own likes, and you need to pursue that, and maybe something can come out of that. You know, whether that's
Yeah.
Etsy and selling your crochets. I don't know. But I'm not saying those things will make you a millionaire. I'm just saying that it'll probably give you purpose, and you're actually doing
Yeah.
what you like. You know, um, that's something that I really appreciated reading that because I was just trying to find quotes. And another thing too, it's okay to be comfortable. It's okay to be in a comfortable spot,
Yes.
especially after being in survival
Absolutely.
mode for so long. Like it's okay to chill out and enjoy your money, enjoy your routine, enjoy where sitting down and watching a movie for 3 hours or 5 hours. If you don't have kids, 12 hours. Like it's okay to
Yeah.
go on your favorite show and freaking binge watch your show for hours on end. It's okay. I remember when I was in the newborn stage because I was still healing from being in Amway when I had my son because I was only a year and a half out before I got pregnant, and
Yeah.
and so my friends they work, but then they always came back home, chilled out,
Yeah.
and watched movies, and I was in shows, and I was like, I need to do that. But I was like, and
Yeah.
I learned to be okay with naps, and I learned to be okay with watching shows and movies for a few hours. That was another thing too.
Yes. Yes. The way that they demonize those types of things, you're so right. like you guys, again, you have to understand if you have not been in this type of an environment, please consider yourself blessed. But they demonize everything that is not business focused, including video games and screen time, anything that is not building the business. That is a waste of time. That's a hard thing to overcome after you leave, because you get used to looking at things like that so like one way for so long that it's like, okay, I have to become accepting of these things. And it's, yeah, absolutely. I've actually found so many things that I enjoy after
Yeah.
being in the business. And so, kind of to wrap things up here, I know that you said that your kind of biggest focus right now has been content creation. Um, what is it that kind of inspired you to really do these things? Because I know that you're like, oh, I really like talking about these things. Was it like you made a TikTok once and were like, this is it? Or like, what is it that inspired you?
I so back then I was still doing like here and there videos, TikToks and stuff. And honestly, it was seeing other vloggers live their life. And I was like, if I can get paid by living my life, I want to do that. And I'm okay with it's a lot of things because I'm not a perfect person, but I feel like a lot has been done to me that I'm just like I want my enemies to see me win. You know,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because you know how you say that other people have it together or those people are living great and but yet they did you so wrong and they're living great. Why is not anything happening to them? And I just was like, I want my enemies to see me win. And
Yeah.
if and and that's also because one day because I pursued my interest because I saw that I liked makeup, I liked skincare, I liked being in front of the camera, like doing little TikToks here and there, and I like social media. I just noticed that I would post and then delete, post and delete, and I'm like, why
Yeah.
am I doing that? Like, just post. Like, it's okay to like social media. I told myself it's okay to
Yeah.
post your videos and be silly and just do it. And it was genuinely because I pursued I just was like, okay, how can I do all these things and put it into one thing? And I was like, oh, content creation, oh, YouTube, because
Yeah.
I saw other regular people making YouTube, and I was like, and people, especially people who come up with well-off families, they do have like a lot of tools and stuff to to be able to create YouTube. But also too, I'm
Yeah.
just a regular person that I want to inspire somebody that wants to do YouTube and they only have their phone. They don't have a lot of money
Yeah.
right now to invest. That they can do it too. That I'm just a
Yeah.
regular person that works a regular job that is wanting to do YouTube and I genuinely just pursuing your interests is what helped me because I know we all have something inside us and if you don't, it's okay. You know, it's okay to live your just be a human being that works and comes home. It's okay.
Yeah.
It really
Wow.
is.
I love
Like,
that.
it is.
And you get to be
Like
authentic.
and too like it, you're as a human being, you have purpose by just being a human. Your purpose is to live. Your living is not trying to find your purpose all the time. Your purpose is already is. It's living your life. And you can find purpose in living your life. Because I hated that whole like find your purpose and this find what you're meant to do and it's like that's such a heavy pressure feeling for someone to just want to live
Yeah.
and I feel like you just whatever happiness and definition of happiness is for you you define that and you create your own purpose. And last thing I want to touch on too, I don't care if we go over,
Mhm.
because it's a very dark thing that to speak about, and it's about death, right? You dying, right?
Yeah.
The guy that talked with the class, he said, I want thousands of people to know my name and to be there at my funeral. And I was like, thousands of people don't even know who you really are, dude. Like the people that I want
Yeah.
in my funeral are the people that authentically were there for me, that love me, we
Yeah.
had multiple moments of of laughter, of personal, of talks, of genuine time together, I want those people to be at my funeral. I don't want thousands of strangers to be in my funeral. You know what I mean? Like I want those who were really there for me at my funeral. So
Yeah.
that was that was the biggest thing too, like thinking that you're not gonna make an impact with people. And it's like, no, you can impact people on the day to day, even if it's
Yeah.
5, even if it's 10, even if it's just one.
Yeah.
Like you can impact someone and you don't have to be on a freaking big platform. You don't have to be on YouTube either. There is people impacting other people silently, and that still matters. And it's okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really wanted to talk about this because I think like, and I have goosebumps right now because it's just like I feel bad for anyone that's been in it and that leaves and that feels so lost and broken and just thinking that they can't find meaning in existing because this business just said that this is the only thing that to have purpose in or whatever. And it's like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not. It's you have purpose because you're human and you live your life and you exist. So don't let anyone tell you freaking different.
Yeah. So good. It's so true. And the authenticity that a person can have outside of the business, whether you choose to pursue some sort of grand thing that you've always had as a dream or your 9 to 5 that you're really passionate about, it doesn't matter. Like you just get to be you. And that is what's the most amazing thing. And like you said, you don't have to worry about thousands of people who don't actually know you, thousands of people that because it's an egotistical thing as well, where I think that anybody who was in the business, right, that the leaders, they were so hell-bent on the popularity, mostly because the popularity got them more money. But the popularity became so much to them that they forgot that at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Once they kick the bucket, that's it. Doesn't matter. You don't need any more hype men when you're dead. You don't care. You're dead. You're gone. Sorry to make that super dark.
Oh,
But
you're
no,
good,
I'm
good,
really grateful that you did want to come on and be so authentic and talk about this. But there we go with the word authentic. Please understand, I will use that word probably another 10 times. Just kidding. Anyways, just this topic is so vulnerable, right? It's hard to admit, like, oh my God, I really struggled after this whole Amway thing. And now you found who you want to be. And I'm so proud of you. And I'm really excited. And I've gotten to know who you are over the last 2 years. It has been so fun.
Oh yeah, you're
If you
amazing.
guys want to be, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I say you're so fun. I just like I said, you're like a big sister to me now, and
Thank
yeah,
you.
I really I hope that too. Like everyone finds what they really are meant to do or what they like. I really do because the there's life outside of Amway. There is. So thank you for having me on here again, and thank you for reaching out to make this
Of
podcast.
course.
Yeah, because I know that we have these schedules. I'm like, no, we're not letting the universe do this to us. We're gonna record this.
No, it's totally fine. I get it. You know, kids and life situations, they totally happen. I try to be as flexible as possible, but it's always so fun. And I love that we have connected, like you said, on so many different topics. And most of them are really sad and like fucked up. But
I know.
I am grateful that I have come in contact with someone like you who does get it. But if you guys want to be like Antonia and you guys want to come on and share your story, it doesn't even have to be MLM related, you guys. We talk about all different types of stories, all different type of traumas here. We just like to spread awareness. If you guys would like to be here, please DM me on Instagram at exesandt.podcast, or please send me an email at dani@exesandtpodcast.com. Antonia, where can we find you at?
Okay. So I can give you my link to my YouTube to post, but
Please do.
on Instagram I'm on Antonia Chavez 2.0, and then I'm just barely getting started. I have like a little bit of followers, but if anyone wants to support me, go follow me on Instagram. I'm on TikTok as Antonia Chavez 10601, and then I'm on YouTube by just my name. But I'll show you the link because there's many people with my name, I guess. So it's hard to find me. So I'll give you the link to tag it. But that's where you guys can find me on social media.
Absolutely. And we will get you out there. Thank you
Thank
again
you.
so much, Antonia. You guys can find her everywhere that she said, and you guys
Mhm.
can find me everywhere that podcasts are heard. We'll catch you guys in the next episode.